so combining the love for Macau and that wonderful experience I had in Yokohama, there was no reason I would say no to this project, and there was also every reason for me to be very devoted, because I just love it so much, like it's my child. Like I want it to be really, really successful. And so in the translating process, I had something in mind. Like I wanted this book to be a fantastic window for other people to get to know Macau. You know, this is a special venue. It's a very special avenue for people just to understand Macau and to experience it. So, sorry, that was didn't really answer your question, right? Sorry. You wanted to talk about, yes. So yeah. So when we were having early meetings, I was obviously not sure what to do. Like I didn't know what to do. I was just there, I listened in, and I was always interested, but I had no idea yet what to do until very late. And all of a sudden, when I had the text from Chikara-san and Minori-san, that was when it sort of all came back together. So all the bits and pieces of information or understanding I had in the earlier meetings, they just become some kind of latent knowledge that you have. And so I don't think I started translating from the same level with this book. And it's like, you know, like I was, you know, part of its birth process. Like I was there all the time. So when the first draft of text came out, it wasn't the same. And the questions I would like to address the questions that Eric mentioned. This is linked back to how much I love this book and how much I want it to be successful and what I see Macau to be, because Macau for me is a very, very interesting place. It's also very endearing, and it's a lot more open than it looks. When you come from great metropolis cities like Hong Kong and Tokyo, you go to Macau and you're like, oh, this is a small town. But there's something about the city. It is actually very, very international. I mean, there's obviously the Chinese immigrants from Canton. So Haruka-san talked about that. And there's the Portuguese influence. There's also, because they've been so close to Hong Kong, you can see a bit of British kind of legacy there. But there's also a lot of the rest of the world. You get Southeast Asia, you get Japan, and other parts of the world. It's just amazing. If you look into the trades, you find that a small town looking Macau is more international in my mind than Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan, honestly. So when I was translating, I had in mind that this book has to be bigger than the local Cantonese reading people. It would obviously attract readers from Hong Kong and Taiwan. I imagined were the very big sort of market share, and Chinese people from mainland China, but also Singaporeans, Malaysians, and practically international Chinese. That's kind of what I had in mind. And so only understand. I only speak a little bit of Cantonese, but I can try to read them out to test the sounds, like the sentences I have. I'd like to read them in Cantonese. If I can help it, I do it myself. If I can't, I need help from Eric and Sonia. And that's why they get a lot of questions. And also, I am very aware of my own writing that can be too Taiwanese. And I don't want it to be too Taiwanese, so I try to modify that. And so I'll give you a really simple example. Turn to the left and turn to the right. In Taiwan, it's much more natural to just say 右转. But in Cantonese, I know that you tend to say 君左, 君右. And so the left and the turn are placed in different orders. And but I want it to be neutral so that everyone reads easily. So there were questions like that I would just be, thinking as I translate. So yeah, I think that probably contributes to many many questions I have. And also, I really emphasize the sound of the written text as well. So I try to read them in Mandarin. Obviously, you accommodate Mandarin people, Chinese from China, Chinese from Taiwan, and Cantonese reading people. So that's kind of my marketing mind thinking. Sorry, I hope. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, you share a lot. Just maybe later on we have some audience would like to ask about it. We will talk about it more. Yeah, and then I will come back to Chikara-san. So you have to tell us more about what's the difference or idea from the Macau version and the one that you made before. Is there any difference, big difference this time? Because you're sitting at home all the time and then working on this. Before you have to walk a lot. Yeah. At least this is a physically difference. So what is anything that difference?
そうですね。So first this time, finally I couldn't go to Macau, but I visited Macau 3 times, so I know some part of places. So especially peninsula side, so I walk a lot. So yeah, Eric and Sonia-san send us the video, so I could feel, so I am walking now in Macau. So that was really interesting experience for me. So during the creation process, I felt, so I am in Macau, walking a lot, and get some ideas of the stories. So that was really interesting. I never experienced before, because only one time in Lausanne, in Switzerland, we also created this kind of remote process, but I never visited Lausanne actually. So yeah, Macau is the first time, so we created remotely, but I know I was walking in Macau, yeah. And different viewpoint is Macau is actually very special city for me, very personally. So because when I was a child, maybe 12 or 13 years old, I played a game. The title is The Age of Discovery. みのりさん、本で大航海時代って書いてあるやつ。in Mandarin, 大航海時代。Yeah, this 大航海時代。 in Cantonese, how can
大
I
航海
pronounce?
時代日本奴隸
Thank you, Moisai.
The inspiration
Yes.
from
The
one
book.
of the books.
Yeah. So this age of discovery is really wonderful for me. So when I was a child, I played this game as a young Portuguese admiral. I left Lisboa, and go to the sea and turn around the なんだっけ、希望法、Good Hope, Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, and go to India, and finally I came to Macau and East Asia. Yeah, so I felt on that time okay, I finally come to the end of the earth like that. But it's really strange. So because this is just a Westerner's eye, I was actually Japanese person. So Macau is really not this one. Macau is not the end of the earth. Actually, for Japanese people, the gate or entrance to the world. So this time I researched the history of Macau, and it's really related to Japanese history because in Japan, so 17th century to 19th century, they closed the gate of country. Yeah, but actually they keep the relationship with outside. So between Macau and Japan is also really interesting history. So I felt the 皆さんありがとう。もう大丈夫。なんかそう。I felt the Macau is for me, Macau is the kind of key of unlocking the secret history around Japan, around East Asia. Yeah. So if you already played this Macau version, so one of the story is started from Saint Paul, 第3波, Saint Paul. So this story is really related to this kind of history. So yeah, I like this story personally, but this is one of my obsession about Macau. So yeah, that's why one of the reason for me Macau is very special city. Yes, hi.
And now I would like to ask my partner. She hasn't talked about what she think about on this project.
Yeah.
She is a choreographer and dancer, and also how to say, you teach a lot. You always have class,
Sorry.
so you have to tell people what you teach.
Okay. But this project is very interesting to me because for the rest of the artists, they said they like to walk, right? And I'm the person always said my fit is not for walking, but only for dancing. I always tell my family that I'm not really like to walk, but in this research, we have to walk a lot. And to those like small alleys and those places that I'm not really go into. I mean, in this project, I figured that I'm not really a very local Macanese. Like I got a lot of praise that's not.
She get lost all the time.
Yeah, always got lost. And during the research, I'm always thinking like, if I'm showing my will on my camera, does it really means I need to give this stuff to the artist, So I always start with my own video because I control the view of the videos. So in this process, and Eric brings a very good ideas about the 360 cameras.
Yeah, we're not using this one. We use a much smaller one and easier one because for me, it's, as she mentioned, actually if we take video camera, you have the direction, you have the frame, you already frame what you want to show. Like the TV, we're always saying that you can see the TV, the news, but there's a lot of things happening around, they never show you. So I think one of the best way for me is I use the 360 camera. I try to capture everything because sometimes I will miss something. But if they can see all 360 degree, maybe they can find out something interesting that I missed. So that's why I'm starting to use this, and then I finish, and then I asking them to try, and then they say, oh, it's good way to look at the video. They can see all around of Macau. So that's why, and then I keep walking with the 360 camera, just like the Google Map, the street view. But I'm walking with it. I walk a lot, so I took a lot of videos about the small street, alley, and then a lot of dead end street, and then even though to get into some space that for me it's very happy when exciting when I walking into some space that I never walk in, that make me very exciting as well. So for me, I'm very excited for doing this project. When I go walking, I don't feel that my feet is for walking.
No,
Not for dancing, okay?
I haven't finished yet. I mean, during the process, I really feel interesting, and I like more enjoy on walking because I really explore a lot small stuff and cultures while doing the research. And also after the book, like because we have a lot of text on this book, we are the first walker, and I mean the adventure of the books, and I really feeling like very special feeling for each of the routes. Because I feel some of the routes I'm as a mechanist, a local people, how to react the question of the book, and for some of the routes I have to be like one of the character inside, and in that process I find where art happens. Like originally I thought I were one of the editor or researcher, but in this book I really find during the process I find always the art happens in our communication, in how the way we work together.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe we can. I saw familiar face on the floor because I saw you walking on the street with the book. Some of you already. So if you have any feeling, or you would like to share with us, or you have some question would like to ask the artist, yeah, it's your time. You can raise your hand, or we don't need microphone because we can hear. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, so I'm kind of curious who decided.
Just wait, we let the camera for them to show you. The artist can see you. Yeah.
Maybe that. Hi, I'm Rani. So I'm very curious when I was struggling with the book. So I'm just curious who is the one to decide the routes. And when you are carrying the 360 camera on the
Hold
road,
your camera. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. So when you're carrying the 360 camera on the road, so who to find out the clues? Because when I just open up some of the sentences, it just reminds us to look at the graffiti on the wall, and there are 4-digit words, and we can just refer to the pages that we want. So I'm just very curious who to decide.
Chirka-san and Minori-san, can you hear the question?
Maybe you can summarize it.
Okay.
Little bit hard to, listen. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
So in the process, actually the roots is created by the creator, Minori-san and also Chirka-san. So to reply your questions about the painting or the themes, which is all about the 360-degree camera, because we really walk in the road and we capture every single steps which is most updated. And if the creator look at the videos, they got the same view as a person who walk on the street. So by those thousands of video, they decide how to bring you into the road. Yeah. So
So before you guys walk into the road literally,
Mhm.
do you guys have a meeting about like opening a mouth and then showing Japanese tea? There are some like few interesting places. Let's go there today. And then you guys start to do the research for it.
Yeah.
Is it like that? Or
yeah, in the very beginning, we asked the artist which part of Macau you interest or you would like to have a research, and then they give us a lot of photos. And then after that, we walk into those area and take video to them, and they will also give us feedbacks on what more they want. So we start to do like half Macau's shooting on the road, and we also mark all the roads on the map, on the Google map, with painting the name of the locations, so that they can have a very accurate so they can really have the very clear like picture on the small roads, and they design all the details. And okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And but
Can I add something about this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. First, maybe November, you started to walk around and shooting. Yeah. So on that time, we couldn't decide which area is suitable for this project. So I asked Eric and Sonia, so okay, please start walking anyway. So they started. So their walking stimulated my imagination. So yeah, my brain started to move very slowly. So and then. So for example, around Pinsec Square area, first story is, I guess Sonia shooted first. Then
sorry.
I came up with my idea about Pinsec Square. あそこなんだっけ？ラザロディストリクト。ファーストストーリー。アマラルストーリー。
Story.
What Chairperson says that the first inspiration is from me, because I took the video of the Tapsec square and the routes, the alleys around, and he came up with that ideas to work on those area. Is it? Sorry, because we got.
Yeah, maybe I can also explain at the very beginning, because since they couldn't came here, and then we trying to asking them what's in the past research, what kind of interesting spot they have it, and then we have that basic information, and then they suggest, because since they have to rely on us, the research, so they asking us what is our interest and what we would like to share with them. So and then we starting to look, asking ourselves which area I'm interested, and then she's starting from the top section, and then I was the inner harbor area, which is I am very interesting about that. So we took our I'm interested in the area, so I walk more on that area and trying to tell them what are the interesting point for me, and then what's my thought, and then we have to share with them first, and then they have to think about, and then they do their own their research, like reading the books related to Macau, and then finding the link, and then trying to connecting those the places that we suggest. So they have to connect, and then to create a story. So and then we suggesting this area, and then what kind of feeling that we have, like this to propose to them. Yeah.
Because we
anyone?
had to walk around, then we decided, structure. Right. But this time we couldn't go this kind of way, so yeah. ありがとうございました。ごめんなさい。
Yeah.
So, is there any more questions or questions about?
First of all, I was very amazed by this book because this book is like, because when I'm walking with this book and then doing all of this adventures, I can see that it is story, but also it is like a guiding of the history of Macau, but also at the same time you're like playing a game and then you're exploring around the city. So I'm very curious of like which things come first, because you have the adventure, you have the story base, you have the character, but then you also have the spots that you would like people to walk around, to visit, and then you go to another spot. So just now you mentioned about that you select some spots and then you also walk around, but then how do you develop the storyline so that it all makes sense at the same time while you have to select which way to go, like, because you have different numbers, and then all the numbers make like a circle at the end, you will finish all the spots that they will miss out if they select A around their B, and then so I'm so curious that how can you make that complex book and very well designed one, and then for having a sound, so that I can explore.
Can you hear the question, Chia-san?
Sound is very sorry. Sound is not clear. So maybe because of the phone. So
行近啲，你行近啲佢。
係可能你要行
用唔
近
用你
啲，
個咪啊？係啊。
或者問慢少少。
你 unmute 佢用嗰個咪俾佢講就唔怕，唔係好咁怕。你講。
Or would you mind to come in front and speak?
Yeah.
If someone having a question, because it's too far from the microphone.
No, you.
Thank you.
未因為 because we couldn't turn on so many microphone at the same time because we're doing the online as well. So once we turn on one more, and then you will get the loop of the air, the sound from there. So maybe if you don't mind, you would really want to come, you can come here and then can see us in front here.
We should
come here.
reserve one more seats.
Come here. See how complicated
See how complicates the
we are.
things from here.
Hi. Yeah. You can see.
This is the
こん
flâneur.
ばんは。
Hello, I'm Kathleen, and I explored one of the routes
Good
in the
evening.
book.
こんばんは。
And then I'm very curious about, because there are so many elements in the book. It's not just information or not just history about Macau or that place, but then you also create some character. So you have a storyline that's about all the Lei Wanjie, and also you have the that all these things happening at the same time. So how do you design this book, like the route, the routine,
and also the story, and then so that you can make all the selections make sense, because sometimes you have to let us to select which route to go, so A or B, but then at the same, like at the end, all the routes or all the spots that we will at the end finish, like we will visit all the different numbers. So how can you like be so well designed of all of these spots? Yeah, this is what I'm curious about. And so which things come first, or you develop it all at the same time, or you always have the Lei Wenjie in all of your books, or Lei Wenjie is just a Macau character? Too many questions.
Like he has a lot of questions here as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we are now giving back you all the questions.
Yeah. I can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. どうしますか? Can I reply?
Yes, yes, yes.
そうですね。So, I'm not sure, so I can reply to the question. So ですね。First, I considered about the area and which point is suitable for starting point. So I imagined how can I edit in
Yes.
Macau. So after that, after that decide the area, so I started to think about story and character, maybe. So, でもどうかな。そう、合ってますかね、これ。
Sometimes the character comes fast, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
yes.
this Macau time, it's never happened before. Because this time Chikara-san and Minori-san, you dig the history a lot more than other version. So sometimes character comes fast, and it meets a route, an area, and then story starts.
そうだね。だから、in parallel, I was thinking about the character and history, and also route ですね。で、mixed かなだった気がします。I think so. で、this is not an information of history book. So this is, in my imagination, I referred some history, real history, but I didn't choose main character. I didn't choose very famous person as the main character. So I put some very famous historical person, but main character, Amnesia, Lei Wenjie, is not famous. Very normal person.
Anonymous person.
Anonymous person. Maybe they forgot by people in the histories. This is very important point for this version. これ is this okay for answer? I'm not sure. So, if you have some additional information, so please add. Eric-san, if you can, so you can share Miro or Google Map to the audience.
I can share with you what kind of tools that we use to communicate in this. I need to turn on, maybe. No, it's too heavy loading now. So I'll show you from my iPad, because it's much easier to look. First, I'll show you the video that I'm talking about, how we shoot the video. Not this one. I should get the other one. Yeah, maybe I can pass you around. You can share to look at it by yourself. I'll show you first. The 360 video can show you can use different direction. So they can view the video that I'm showing them, and then they can walk around just like me walking around in Macau. So this is how we showing them the video, so you can really see it. Yeah, and then the other one is I'm trying to show you the map that we use. So, I want to show you there's one map that we use for she's asking the question how we design the route, and then how we making that. Let me see if I can turn it on, because somehow it's a bit slow.
Yeah.
The network is a bit slow. We have been dragging it very heavily today.
But I think
Yeah. And there is any question? I was waiting for it to load, and then I will share with you later on. You can keep, if you have any question or feeling that you would like to share after you walk, so please come and talk to them. New question? No. I'm looking because I know she finished all the routes. Oh, she's coming. Just wait.
We can also do the translation, or yeah. Yeah, we can translate.
你等我一陣，唔係我死咗。
Hello.
Just wait.
而家係咪 on 㗎？
咪 on 嘅。
係，等陣啊。So now, this is another audience. She would like to ask you about the questions.
I have walked all the routes of the book, and the question that I want to ask is, would you like to do an audio version of the book? Because I know maybe you have researched and a lot of information about Macau or other history or other routes. If you do an audio version of the book, then we can have another adventure, because this book has given me a very special way and perspective for me to see the sky or just a building or Macau, even a tree. It gives me a special feeling.
it helped me to know more about Macau. Yes. Yes, that's my question.
Hello, Shikara-san, can you hear the question? The audience is asking, would you like, I mean, in the future, are you interested to do the second version of the Engeki Quest Macau? Because she finds the books is very interesting and all the details give her a unique experience of Macau. You're great, both all of your great words makes the things happen.
So before I answer, so please, なんかピンが僕になってます。Please, なんて remove the pin from my なんていうか screen. So who can do this?
Wait.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm supposed to know.
ちょっと please change.
Can I?
Anyway, so yeah, I will answer. So the second version in Macau, I really want to create this. Actually, this time we have 4 stories, 4 routes, but during our creating process, we call this route 1, route 3, route 4, and route 5. Actually, we miss route 2. So yeah, we prepared this route 2, yeah, but finally we abandoned this route because it's a lot of reasons. So for example, this time we couldn't go to Macau, so we couldn't research about the communities, local communities, especially immigrants communities. So
this route, so if we create this route, we have to more this time. So if I can create the second version of this adventure book, Engeki Quest of Macau.
We are very sorry about the internet and technical stuff, but I can repeat the answers of Shikara-san. Because in the research, actually we have did 5 routes, but at the end of the book, we only put in 4th. Because of the length of the books, we cannot put too much, and also the creation time, which is limited. So he didn't put all of the routes inside this book. So I think what he is going to say, he would like to work on more on the research of Macau. And also, actually, he's very interesting on the Cotai area. But in this time, on not this book, that book. On the Macau version book, we haven't explored it yet and put on the books. But in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Listen to the producer. And actually, we have a small plan about Color One version actually, but we haven't worked on it yet. So maybe that will be the other things that might happen in the future for Color One and Cotai, and also there's still one more route in Macau, Macau area. Yeah. And for the question that just now you asked, how the designs going? I mean the books. And actually, we have selected the area first, and then they research for the history, and then they build up the story on that area, and then we do the deep research on the routes, and they design how it works. And for the question you asked about the left or right, the decision, actually they have wrote the full story for each row at the very beginning. And they have all the selection, I mean the decision, they have already pinned in a very long paper. And after all those stories finish, they just break everything out and rearrange all the small details. So what it happens, you see the box is like very small pieces on it. But in the very beginning,
Hello again.
we were only full, each story full.
Yeah, let me.
Hello again.
Hello.
Yeah, just a moment.
I hope they can see us. We can't see them.
Yeah, we just lost the internet.
Hello.
Yeah, so we just finished your question. We try to answer them and telling them how you decided the story.
Maybe they see us.
Yeah, now I'm
Oh, now
observing
it's
the
getting more
YouTube
smooth
now.
After it
Yeah, that's
lost.
more smooth.
We do something.
So any more questions?
Are there any plans for a Portuguese version of the book?
Oh, I can tell you why. Actually, the Portuguese version
Yeah,
was on my
online.
list at the very beginning. Since the
Even something
pandemic,
happened.
Yes, ne.
Yeah,
our oh sorry, they couldn't hear us.
sometimes.
Original sign off.
Yes.
Oh,
you can hear now, right?
Welcome back.
yes,
No.
No?
we can see you now.
Yeah. Can you hear? Can you hear me?
But we can't hear you.
Okay, maybe choose the microphone. Okay, let me. Yes. Can you hear now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The audience asking, do we have the plan to make a Portuguese version? So I would like to tell them that actually Portuguese version is in my very beginning. I was planning to do the Portuguese version as well. But since the pandemic, my friend who work on the Portuguese translation, he has to leave China because he's teaching Portuguese in China nearby in Zhuhai in the university, and he do the translation as well. So I was aiming to work with him together, ask him to come to Macau, and then with the artists together, so they can just like working the English and Chinese translation. They have to work with the artists together. Since he was a request to leave China during the pandemic, all the foreigner, so he moved back to Porto, to Portugal, and then staying there. And then since the time difference is too much, so since we have to a lot of meeting working together, and then then I decided maybe next version, or maybe after we finish this one first, and then maybe later we have resources, we have opportunity, and then we will publish a Portuguese version. And definitely a Portuguese version is one of in my plan. So I would like to make Portuguese version as well. I think it's also important to have it. Yeah. Any more questions? Any more questions would like to share? Maybe, and then for us, do we have anything we'd like to share in the, because what time is it now? Yeah.
Eric,
Yes.
Eric, I just saw the questions on Facebook.
Yep. Can you share with us?
Yes, can I share? Maybe I share with chat here. It's from, I think the friend of Chikara-san and Minori-san. I just shared the Zoom chat. Can you see that? Or maybe I should share.
Because of the COVID, I think you already expect the reader player will highly possibly be softly located. So,
Where Sonia gave the suggestions on the place old. Yes. Yes. I think definitely yes. Yeah, I was trying to show you that the map is also related to the question. We did a lot of research. We walk and then do a lot, but I think we only use 60%, around, right? 60% or 70%, less than 70% of the material that we already did the research. So in even though there's one story already decided, so what about that story? Is about a foreigner who live in Macau, the point of view from the foreigner. But since we don't have enough time and to finish it, so we have to finish it within last month. So we have to move fast and then to finish first, and then the book is already like this thick. So we think maybe one more story would be too much. You holding it to walk. So maybe we can aim for the next editions to do it. And yeah, maybe afterward I will show you, because it's better to look at it in the iPad, some of the material, because we used to work in this way. We can show you the map, that how we use it, and also we can share with you much more. This we will not share online right now, but I can the audience right here, maybe after we finish this sharing, I can show you the material that we did for the research, and also you can take a look of the other version of the Engeki Quest, this book.
Yeah. And I remember, some of the audience asked, where can we buy the other version? Chikara-san and Minori-san. This is a question from Phil Adventures.
Maybe Chikara-san can answer.
別のところでっていう話ですかね。
そうそう
をどう手に入れるかってこと？ですかね。そうですね。どう言えばいいのかな。So actually, I created Engeki Quest in various cities. So, but almost of them, there are no copies already. So, for example, in Hong Kong, we have no copies already in the actual book. So, yeah, we have to republish or make e-publishing or like that. Yeah, it's maybe future possibilities for us.
And so we also want to publish again, maybe, but the important thing is the city is changing. So, for example, Ansan in Korea, so when I play after half year from published, so the city was totally changing. So I got lost so many times. So maybe we also think about, but this is not, in my thought, it's not the limited of the book. It's not. So it also city itself. So I think we can find some keeping continue way we will find in the future.
Yeah, I was suggesting Chikara-san to publish the e-book. Actually, the Macau version will have the e-book later on, but maybe 1 or 2 months later. So we will publish on the e-platform. So you can purchase the book on the e-book platform. The popular one, maybe we are trying to find out the way how to publish it e-book. And also maybe I'm not sure, but like what Minori-san also mentioned, that the city is changing. So we have to update the content. So first we trying to help them to publish in the ebook, maybe other version in the see it as well. Once we have this solution, then maybe Chikara-san will think about it, publish ebook, or we can publish in some other way. Yeah, you just follow us and then we'll know. We'll try to find. We also, for me personally, also interesting to when I travel to somewhere, I would like to go to read some books like this. Yeah, it will help me to understand the city very much more. Yeah. So do we have any question to share?
Why is that having a question?
Yeah, you can.
I would like to ask the audience to tell us more about their experiences. Like, I don't know, what surprised them most, or did they have a certain expectation at the beginning of the story, and did that change as they experienced the stories in Macau, and also what, if any, did they find that were new, old things in Macau? Like, did you find anything that's always there but you never noticed, or something like that? If anyone would like to share that, that'd be really cool.
我哋嘅 translator 想知道各位 adventurers， 你哋喺閱讀嘅過程入邊有冇發現一啲你一直見到但係由嗰本書俾到你知道嘅一啲新嘅或者一啲舊嘅嘢，喺呢一個過程入邊會唔會俾到一啲 surprise 到，或者你會發現到嘅一啲嘢？同埋你有冇 expectation 本身對睇緊嗰條路線或者睇緊呢本書嘅時候，有冇一啲咩 expectation？ 然後去到你行完之後，你嗰個 expectation 有冇改變，或者係其他嘅嘢出現咁樣咯？所以你見到嘅嘢都係佢帶到你去見到嘅嘢，你都係見過，你都知嘅。你冇喺嗰個過程入邊發現一啲原來你冇去觀察到嘅嘢，係嘛？你嘅意思係？未行啊 ？OK。咁你行咗嘅。
The one who already walk。
行晒應該係得你。
唔係呢度
係得你咯。我哋唔知㗎嘛。
大聲啲，佢都聽到。
我哋要translate。可以，你可以就咁講，我哋可以 translate。
係啊。好啊，長話短説。
To answer the question, one of the audience who has finished 4 routes, can you hear? I think the internet stop.
No.
我哋會同 我哋個 artist 講翻又係，因為而家佢個 internet 又突然間出現咗一啲 problems， 我哋會將你個 feedback 話翻俾佢哋知。Thank you。
好。
Thank you，拜拜。我哋都要。
係。咁或者我哋再提下啦。今日咧其實係其實幾間書局都有得賣嘅，邊度有書啦，井31啦，葡文書局啦，文藝門啦，仲有大三巴旁邊嘅 Pie Cafe 啦，同埋 M 族即係南環海邊湖邊嗰度亞文湖畔嗰度 M 族空間啦都有。咁其實咧大部分呢啲地方賣書嘅地方都係附近就可以行得㗎啦。咁所以如果你有興趣嘅，可以買一本書，跟住就真係要快啲，因為其實真係冇乜，佢哋可能個個得翻幾本咁上緊我哋。咁就話俾啲朋友聽，咁買咗可以去行啦。你哋可以約埋一齊行，但係咧就各自己嘅選擇。又或者先最好嘅方法就係咧 follow 咗我哋嘅 IG 先。咁我哋咧諗緊咧就得閒咧，我哋就可以突然間搞啲快閃嘅活動出嚟，一齊約埋一齊，大家好多人咁樣啦。咁一齊就係去行啦。咁就算你行過都可以再行嘅，因為咧每一次嘅選擇唔一樣咧，你會遇到嘅嘢都唔一樣。因為你今一次行咧，你只可以做一個選擇㗎嘛。因為呢條路可能有幾條路線行嘅，你係行一個選擇，去下個路線嘅你行呢個選擇。但其實你可以有好多唔同嘅選擇，咁你就會見到好多唔同嘅嘢。所以咧行一次係唔夠嘅，你起碼都要行3次到啦一條路線。咁你就差唔多可以行得晒，或者甚至乎有啲路線要行4次你先至行得晒。我哋設計咗出嚟嘅嘢咁樣嘛。咁所以係啊，同埋咧冇時間限制嘅，千祈唔好比賽，千祈唔好諗住鬥快。其實係你要即係打開你嘅眼睛啊 sense 啊，去周圍去睇啊，去望嗰樣嘢咯。同埋唔使急嘅，即係如果當你遇到一個咁嘅問題，你覺得呢個好好 feel 喎，呢個環境，我想坐低飲杯嘢食嘅嘢，停低咯。咁你咪我哋有書簽送俾你，夾住佢，跟住你可以等一陣間，或者甚至乎第二日先至再繼續行，都係可以嘅。即係我哋唔係野外定向，大家要比賽，要做到啲乜嘢？我哋係希望你拎住呢本書去 enjoy 喺呢個城市裏面度遊走，去發現同埋即係幻想啊，或者係想像力係好重要嘅。即係你點樣去做呢樣嘢？好多謝大家。
佢哋又
翻返嚟啦。Okay, we just went during the pause of the internet again, so we have just sharing with them what is the best way of enjoying this book. Yeah, we are not no need to walk in a rush. Take your time and then enjoy the moment when you're walking and reading. So this is the most important. You have to open all your sense to look around. So 我哋都好多謝佢哋啊 ！We are very also thank you for all of you being here today. If you have any idea or thought, please follow our IG and then share your comment to us. So I think the artists they are very happy to receive your comment. So they would like to know about what you think about their work.
And since the time is short, if you got more question or feedback would like to share with us, you can also through our Facebook or through our Instagram that we will give the feedback to all of our artists later on.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you can scan there to follow us. Yeah. Thank you.
And I think the thing today is almost time because
we have almost time. We have to finish. We've overrun a little bit. So thank you very much, Jakarta. We hope we have everyone, and then we hope when we are doing some flash mob with them, I can do some video or maybe live to you guys to see what are we doing in these few weeks. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
バイサイ、ドジェサイ。
バイサイ。
ありがとう。
バイサイ。
Enjoy.
So we also need to clean up this space quick. So we จากไลฟ์蒙語，
呢一個 live 冇語
係嗰個 live 蒙語係。
係。誒，sorry。
咪你可以，你講啊。唔係，我陣間去我車度用咗。